Hey, it's Barry.
Hey, it's Brian.
And welcome back to the Collecti-Bros podcast. Today, this episode's going to be something a little different. We haven't done anything like this, but it is our top 5 video games of all time favorites list. And these are our own personal lists, so...
That means no wrong answers.
Yeah, no wrong answer. Take it with a grain of salt. I've created mine in no particular order. I don't know if Brian did the same.
I started out doing that, and then I was like, let's challenge myself here. And breaking it down to 5 and picking what was going to be in my top 5 was actually really challenging. Cried a little bit, wiped some sweat from my brow, but it was fun. So
we're going to go over the top 5 games that we enjoy, we like. Clickbait, maybe.
I did, just for clarity, my actual favorites. There are better games out there, sure, but better's a relative term.
No, there's no better games in my top 5.
These are my favorite games.
No, my top 5 are the best games ever.
Yeah, if you ask me my opinion, these are the best 5 games ever made.
If you guys don't have these on your top 5 list, you're wrong. Anyways, before we get started, share your top 5 games in the comments below. If you want to follow us on social media, at the Collecti-Bros Pod on all social media platforms. Link to the Discords in the show notes. And if you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much. If you're not, you can go to YouTube, subscribe there. Now that that's out of the way. Playing and pickups. It's been a while. It's been a month.
Yeah.
Ish. Playing and pickups. I know that we have picked up, at least I have picked up some good shit. I don't know about you.
Picked up an ass ton of shit.
Okay.
More than I realized.
So we'll break it down really briefly, but Brian, what are a couple good things that you've picked up?
Yeah, again, not going to go over everything. If y'all want to see everything, I highly suggest you join the Discord because we post everything in there. One of my big ones that I'm super excited about was Auto Modestella for the original Xbox. It's like a sub $100 game. It's one of the top tier original Xbox games as far as price goes, and I got a hell of a deal on it. It's a Capcom racing game. It's pretty low print. I got it for around $40 to $50 off retail. Super stoked. I think we were actually over here recording, and I was like, Barry, they just posted this. We have to go to the store. And they still had it there. Super stoked to grab that. I'm dwindling that top tier of the original Xbox games for trying to get a complete run for every original Xbox game. And this was one of the last ones I needed. And
what is this called?
Auto Modestella.
I'm
sure that's pronounced correctly.
Mobilista?
Yeah, sure.
I was trying to find it.
Yeah, it's
and
pretty
typing
pricey.
in a weird...
And it's weird. I feel like it's one of those games that people know about, but I don't hear everyone ever talking about it. I guess it's supposed to be pretty solid. I haven't played it yet or anything, but
Xbox?
It's on PS2 also, I believe, but the original Xbox version's the pricey one. Actually, the really pricey one's the Japanese version, and I'm not really sure why. It's called US Tune Edition or something in Japan, so I'm assuming it's a lot of American cars. I know a Dodge Viper's on the front of it.
I mean, I see the Auto Mobilista on Steam. It said it came out in 2016.
It's definitely older than that.
Okay. I wonder if they adapted it for it.
They might have done a remake or something I'm not familiar with. So it's that game.
Okay, well, let me see it one more time. I cannot find this game.
You're good.
Oh, Modelista.
My English ain't great.
Okay, I was putting in mobile,
mobile.
Mobile.
Oh, got you. That makes sense. Automobile. Yeah, the original Xbox version in Japan's like a $300 game for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, the US version's it's sub 100 constantly. My app says 102, but
so there's an Auto Modelista and then there's an Automobilista.
Is that one made by Capcom also?
No, that's the one I was talking about on Steam.
They were like, y'all remember that game from
that's so funny.
2004? But yeah, I got it for almost half off, it looks like, so I'm pretty stoked on that. I do want to get around to playing it. It's supposed to be one of those, games from that era. It's cel-shaded racing, so it is kind of interesting. I'm not a huge racing game guy, but Capcom doesn't really make dog shit games, so I'm sure it's fun. But yeah, that was my biggest pickup. I was super stoked on that. Literally, we're just talking, Outrun 2 Coast to Coast for the top 10 original Xbox games is all I need left. So that list is a dwindling. Another really cool pickup I got was Dead Space 3, which, yeah, big deal, right? This one's cool because it's the version that's in the Xbox One case. I know we talked about that recently, a couple episodes back, about how there's 360 games in one cases. I just stumbled across this. There's only one on eBay right now to purchase, and it's sealed. There's only been 2 that I've sold, so it's kind of an uncommon game. I'm not going to say it's rare, but I don't see it, so I was like, hey, I'm grabbing this now that I do see it. I like weird variants and stuff like that. I think that'd be a fun little subset to collect. Get every 360 game in a one case. I grab them when I see them. It's just something fun to do when you have a million games, collect variants. And then lastly, the last, I don't want to say cool grab because I heard it's complete dog shit. Interesting grab I grabbed was G.I. Joe Operation Blackout. It's supposed to be ass, but however, this game is delisted. So the physical disc is the only way you can play it. And you know how Hasbro likes to just throw that G.I. Joe license around, so I'm sure there's new devs attached to the new ones. This one was from Game Mill, which, they're notorious for just making dog shit games, so I am excited to play it because it's supposed to suck. And, I'm kind of a G.I. Joe fan. I'm more of Transformers when it comes to, like, the actual figures and stuff, but, again, to get a delisted game, physical, I think that's always important. Even if the game is dog shit and it's not something you love. I tried to buy this one online a couple times, and they all went away from eBay. There's some out there, but I don't want to overpay for it just because it's delisted. I mean, it's like a $10 game, and they're $20, $30 out there because they're sealed and they're on eBay. I'm like, I'm good. Found it in person. There's also the Transformers game that came out at the same time that got delisted from them. But this is the one I've been looking for, so I'm stoked to get it. How about you? What'd you pick up?
One's worth mentioning. One of them that I have been looking for was Growlancer Wayfarer of Time for the PSP.
Sick.
That was one of the Growlancer games I didn't have. Apparently it's said to be one of the best, if not the best. And it's a tactical RPG game. It's also got that big A published by Atlas on it, so you're paying the Atlas tax on that. But it was a Japanese game made in 2003 that we never got until the PSP remaster / port / you get some new anime opening cutscenes, whatever. I think it was in 2013? 2012. So got that one, and it was also by the director of Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor.
Oh, nice.
So there's a bit of a Atlas crossover there. Another one, this one I wasn't expecting and I'd never heard of. It was a Knight's Contract for the PS3. I saw the spine and was like, what is this shitty looking game? It looks terrible. It's got a horrible score on Metacritic. I don't know anything about this game, but it looks bad, and I said I need this.
It looks up our alley, and I think that's what's possible.
Yeah, so I don't really know anything about this game other than it looks like an action adventure, maybe hack and slash style. I feel like everything that came out on the PS3 in that era was kind of in that like
For sure.
formula. So I don't know anything about this one, but it was published by Bandai Namco. So that's all I got. Picked up that one. And then the last one for me was a big one that I finally got to check off of my list was Tales of Destiny 2.
Nice.
And Tales of Destiny 2 is really interesting because I have the version, I think it's Tales of Eternia on PSP.
You gotta be getting pretty close to getting all your Tales of games, aren't you?
I have all the Tales of now.
Hey, there you go.
That was the last one I needed. As far as like the North American releases.
Right.
But Tales of Eternia is a PAL, like UK European PSP release, and I believe that Tales of Destiny is the same thing. Yeah, it is really kind of confusing. So Tales of Eternia is also known as Tales of Destiny 2 in North America. So Tales of Eternia is on the PSP, but it's like a PAL port. And then Tales of Destiny 2 is on the PS1, and it's the same game? I don't really know. The Tales of series has a weird crossing. It's kind of like the Final Fantasy, where 2 is not 2, and 3 is not 3, and 5 isn't 5, but it is 5. It's one of those kinds of things where
Get
like
your roadmap out.
Yeah, I need to like make a map of the Tales one so I can make sense of it entirely. But all I know is that was the last North American release that I needed of the series.
That's
until
awesome.
they make a new one.
Yeah.
That one was one of the heavy hitters on PS1, which is why I just haven't like casually picked it up.
Right.
But I did get a really
got that
good
at the show, right?
Yeah, I got that one in Knight's Contract at that show that we were at. So he had that one and Valkyrie Profile were the two that I was trying to decide on which one I wanted to pick up.
Yeah.
And I said, all right, give me Tales of Destiny.
I ended up making a trade with that guy for some Xbox 360 games and original Xbox games that you should look at in the Discord.
Yeah, we posted our hauls there. But those are my pickups. What about what you've been playing?
Well, not to steal your thunder, you know one thing we've been playing. I'll save that one for you.
I mean, we can talk about it.
Well, yeah,
I've only been playing one game.
We'll get there. We'll let you have that one. I have been playing something I've enjoyed more than I thought I would. Spectre Divide. So, unfortunately, this game just released a console 2 weeks ago, and they're already sunsetting it. This is the game that like Shroud was involved in. They never really said how he was involved with it, whether development or just pushing it or backing it. But the general premise is it's like Counter-Strike, which I can already hear people groaning. The cool thing with this is basically you get two bodies you control. So if you tap the bumper, you switch between both bodies. So you can set up a lot of like really cool defensive flanks. So you can have, one guy at point A, one guy at point B and switch to them. But you can also like throw a disc and they can teleport. So if you're getting like shot at from the front, you can throw the disc behind him, flank him from behind. There's a lot of really cool plays you can do in it. The guns are really fun. The animation style is really cool. It's all cell shaded.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting. It kind of sucks it's already going away. But I've been enjoying my time with it. I'm nowhere near a Counter-Strike pro or anything. But this game does a lot of things right. Like even like if you're firing, if you're moving, there's no like weapon sway. So it's like if you miss, it's on you.
I mean, name the last new IP multiplayer game that stayed.
Oh no, it's live service too. There's a battle pass and shit.
Apex is the last I can think of.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, it's a live service. We've talked about it 1,000 times. It's live service games. It's just you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Right.
2 weeks is wild. Don't get me wrong.
Well, and here's my thing is like the fact that this is the studio's first game. I think was a terrible decision.
Yeah.
Like trying to compete with such a saturated market and trying to like you can't take the player base from that. It's not going to work. And that's what Concord tried to do.
Mm-hmm.
It fell on his face because like nobody wanted to invest in a new IP when like we've been playing these other games for a decade now.
Not only is the market saturated, but even like keeping up with the few live service games that I play, it feels like a fucking job.
Uh-huh.
And like, can you imagine just adding another one to the mix just because you kind of like it? Like, I don't know, man. It's been fun playing it, but it's like, it's almost a blessing and a curse that's closing because like I cannot see myself being like, yeah, I'll just keep playing this. Like, I'm trying to get the achievements before it gets closed. Let's be honest. But it is a cool idea. It does a lot of things different. Even like, so basically you play 5 matches and you get recruited into like a crew, I think they call it. And the whole gimmick is like basically everybody in your crew you're supposed to link up with and like advance your ranking and you get more shit. So it's an interesting concept, like making you play with randoms. It's just not well executed. So like I was playing with my buddy and we both got thrown into different crews, even though we both pretty much were averaging around 20, 22 kills a game. Same stat line pretty much. Like they excelled at the same time. You think it would just throw us in the same crew? No. There's a lot of things, just live service bullshit. I'm sure you can buy more to re-roll and all that stupid shit. But it's the mechanics are there. It's fun. It is devastating to see 2 weeks. You know what I mean? They were like, yeah, this game's not profitable. Bro, it's been out 2 weeks. Of course it's not. Like, what did you expect? Like, it's just unrealistic expectations in the industry right now.
They expected a return on investment immediately. That's what Embracer expected.
I don't care if it was Jesus was your favorite streamer and it was behind it. Like, it's not going to happen. Like, read the room.
Yeah, it being a whole Shrouds game didn't help anything.
At all.
Either.
That's the thing, like...
I mean, he, like... I'm not going to get into it, but he stopped kind of marketing that game.
I'm sure.
Like, it's his game, and everyone's like, so what's happening with your game? Are we going to play your game? What's going on?
Oh, he's not even streaming it and shit?
No, he's playing Marvel Rivals.
I mean, I don't blame him. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, it's weird because today they also announced, I don't remember the name of PewDiePie's game, whatever the fuck his game is. They just announced they're delisting it from Steam. They didn't announce today. So like maybe these companies shouldn't put all their eggs in one basket of just little kids watching these dudes play games, but that's a whole other conversation.
I mean, to be fair, like if you're, if someone has like a large streaming platform where they want to invest money into gaming, like I think that's commendable.
Yeah.
But you need to be sensible about it. You can't make competitive games to the games you're currently playing.
Right.
Because like everyone that's watching you is watching you to play those games, and they're not gonna shift over to another one just because it's yours.
Right. And I think views don't necessarily translate to monetary value either, especially when you're on YouTube, when it could just be a kid being like, Fortnite!
I know, right?
You know what I mean? Like, doesn't mean you're going to make money unless he steals your mom's credit card, like whatever.
People who watch Ninja and Fortnite don't watch Ninja for Marvel Rivals because they don't care about Marvel Rivals. They want him to play Fortnite.
Yeah.
And the same deal, everyone who's watching him play Marvel Rivals isn't going to fucking watch him stream when he's playing Fortnite. Like, it's
a weird thing to like bank your whole company on.
It's really hard for someone to be a streamer and have a very large dedicated fan base, have them watch any game they play. Yeah. It doesn't that's very difficult. And usually those are very small streamers, like not huge ones. It's usually like small ones that have like a really tight knit community and they go around and they'll play or watch or do whatever with that one streamer because that's a small based community. You're not going to get that with someone like fucking Shroud.
Right.
You're not. Mm-hmm. So, same deal like Tim. Tim stopped playing Call of Duty and you lose all the Call of Duty people. They don't care about Marvel Rivals.
Right.
So.
Weird world.
Yeah.
Another one I've been playing, though, is Dauntless, another failed game closing. So, this is basically Epic's... Everyone says it's like Monster Hunter. It's not like Monster Hunter at all. There is monsters you go fight, and it's cool because it's like... It's open world, so like I drop into a world, there's a monster on the map. Everybody's going for that one monster, and it's big, and it might take the whole group to kill it.
It's like a world boss?
Yeah, exactly. This is the best way to put it. It's Epic's version, and it's like, this is at the time, this is a couple years old when Epic was just trying to have anything stick to the wall.
I mean, they have the money to let anything stick to the wall, though.
Yeah, this was like the longest running one they've had, and it's fun. It's dying. It's crazy. You can tell they're not doing server maintenance. You'll be playing, and shit will just start disappearing, and... But it's fun for what it is. I mean, whatever. Jump on Dauntless. Well, you got 3 months left, I think. It's worth a couple minutes. It's nothing special. It's very hacky.
Why would I do that when Monster Hunter's out?
Right. That's the thing. It's like funny timing. It makes me wonder. Like, they're like, well, here's the time.
Well, shit.
It's very hacky slashy compared to Monster Hunter, though. There's not like big heavy weapons you're swinging around. Like you're spinning around in circles, doing triple hits, and yeah. It's okay. I haven't put as much time into it as I should to get the achievements because I've been distracted with Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter.
We'll let you talk about that.
As I said, that's what we were going to be playing. Because I think the last episode we talked about it hadn't came out yet.
Yeah.
I think this is... And you said it the same... You didn't say it the same. You said it in a similar way when we were talking about it. But this feels like a natural sequel to World in... Not only a game sense where we're going from the area that World was in and we're shifting across to somewhere in the same realm, but it's like, oh, we didn't think civilization was over here and there's a whole other ecosystem and whatever over here. It's cool, right? Mm-hmm. But mechanically it feels like a progression as well, where we took the same things that we had in World and we improved on them. We took some things from Rise and we included them, like mounts.
Yeah.
Which mounts, I feel like, were one of the best additions and one of the most annoying ones as well.
Which I didn't play Rise, and I was like, this is sick. We get a dinosaur chicken horse.
I feel like the Palamute executed better in Rise than the Secret.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to say that little lizard.
Horse.
It's a lizard chocobo. Brian keeps calling it a horse, and he pisses me off. But I really enjoy them adding that to World. That was the one thing that I was like, I hope if we take anything from Rise, it's the Palamute. Yeah. And then them adding a reptilian one just makes sense for the environment that we're in. But the fact that you can sharpen on it is a cheese. The fact that you can heal on it is a cheese. The fact that it auto-follows the monster is a cheese. Like, it's made the game fundamentally so fucking easy to do a lot of things. You don't have to sit there and juggle anymore.
I'm not a Monster Hunter expert by any means. Like, let's get clear. During World, you carried me a lot. Like, I don't suck, but it's like, I'm not a pro. This, however, like, I'm not trying to throw shade. Like, Sherry's playing it with us. She's probably just the weakest. Like, it's so different than everything else she plays. But she's soloing monsters and shit in this one. This one's a little easy. Initially.
And it's not like, and that's the big problem right now with Wilds having such a popularity boom, is you've got a very large toxic community with it right now. Yes, this game is easier than... I feel like as a veteran, it feels easy because I'm a veteran, but I've also seen the fact that friends who have played it for the first time aren't struggling with the third fucking monster. Like, when we played World, like, everyone's first, like, come to Jesus moment was fucking Anjanath, right?
Yeah.
And Anjanath was so early on in the story. Like, he was maybe, like, the equivalent of the Deshaguma. But the Deshaguma was a shit. Like, we played him, and he introduced us into the cool fucking Raid Owl, like your first Apex Predator, right? But it wasn't like everyone was getting rolled by fucking Anjanath. The first time you encountered that dude, you were like, oh, shit, they can throw fireballs at me?
Brakes are off.
You know? And in Wilds, like, Raid Owl was the first one for me, where it was like, okay, here's a difficulty spike. Now you need to understand what a monster enraged, like a truly enraged monster with like elemental abilities is going to be like when it beats your ass and flies around. So like it is, and even then, like it wasn't super difficult. I told everybody like, don't worry about armor. They're like, well, what kind of builds am I supposed to get? I'm like, brother, we're in low rank. We haven't even gotten to high rank yet. Like, we're going to enjoy the story, enjoy the missions that you go on. Like, that's what you're supposed to do in low rank, is kind of get used to how the game functions.
Learn some of the mechanics.
Yeah, we're not worried about builds. It's where you want to figure out what weapon you want to play.
Right.
Like, that's what you need to really focus on there, is, like, just kind of getting through it, understanding crafting, understanding, like, how... It was surprising to me that they didn't do capture missions until high rank.
After the game, yeah.
Which is interesting, because they've slowed down the process quite a bit.
Oh, yeah. I feel like it's not even easier is the wrong word to use. It's more accessible for sure, though. Like, they're trying to target a wider audience.
Yeah.
So they have kind of pulled the reins back a little bit, which I don't feel like is a bad thing. Like, I understand from a business perspective. You want more people playing your game, you're going to make it more accessible, you know?
And they're not, like, they're not aware, or they're not unaware of the fact that having this, how do I word this? Dumbing down, and that sounds stupid, but like dumbing down Monster Hunter to appease masses isn't going to change Monster Hunter fundamentally, because they know all of the veteran hunters are like, okay, we know you guys are going to do updates. You already told us we're going to have a roadmap, and like, here's the new releases, and we already know you're going to release like really difficult things. Right. And we're here for the ride to get set up. Right. You don't go into Monster Hunter and you're ready for endgame content like right fucking away. Right. Like, you know,
I think the veterans are patient enough where it's like, I know I have to invest 100 more hours before it starts getting me, you know?
Right, like, I'm 50 hours in, and I'm just like, okay, I've already gotten my quote-unquote in-game gear. I've got 1 or 2 decorations I still need to get for it to be done. I've got a couple more armor spheres before it's leveled up, and then I'm going to work on this new Artian weapon. So it's like, okay, we didn't have to spend forever to, like, do that. Like you had to with previous iterations of it. So it's not like Capcom is like, oh shit, if we don't make it hard out the gate, like the veteran hunters are going to leave us. No, Monster Hunter is about like a helping community.
Yeah, for sure.
And anybody who really is in Monster Hunter because they love Monster Hunter doesn't, like, once we get to the fucking end, it's not like, okay, I'm done. Right. We go back to low rank and we go check out the SOS calls to see who's doing like an assignment so they can go further in the story.
And get parts. Yeah.
And then get parts for shit that we don't even need, but like we just go in there to help people like kill monsters. Like that's what we do. It's not, you know, oh, I don't know, anybody complaining that it's too easy, we're the hard fights. Like, the game just came out, brother. Yeah. You don't understand the Monster Hunter formula if you're complaining about the hard fights already. Like, they'll get here. You think Fatalis came out day one? Yeah. Fatalis did not come out day one in Monster Hunter.
And you already know there's going to be hard events and stuff. Like
they're going to come out. Like, this is it's a pace, and, like, everyone wants everything injected immediately. So, if you hear people bitching and moaning about how easy it is and it's not really worth getting, like, those are people that aren't really understanding how Monster Hunter works. Like, Monster Hunter is a long-term investment. It's not a game that you can play for 40 hours and then be done and then walk away from. So, just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Overall, I feel like the community's embraced it. I haven't seen too much negativity, but I'm not, like, hardcore about it. I know, like, Sherry really likes it. She's really enjoying it. I've been woken up many times in the morning hearing monsters getting slapped with a sword.
Yep.
Many times. So
yeah, the fact that we've introduced this mount and then you can switch secondary weapons is like
awesome.
Fucking amazing.
I love it, dude.
Like, it's so good. So now it's like I can. I'm kind of still learning how I'm supposed to play this build that I have. But if I want to switch to a hunting horn, like, I can just switch. I don't have to go back to fucking camp.
It's nice.
Change my complete loadout. Switch weapons. Like, I can just switch it on the fly, which is really nice.
Yeah, because even I, like, Worlds, I was a great sword. And it's like, it felt a little slower this time, felt a little different. And I was like, let me just try something
I thought you used one of the boom 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 guns.
That was Nate. Nate used
No, I thought he had like the big crossbow and you had...
I used the big...
I thought you had a lance.
Great sword. I tried the lance. I backed out.
Okay.
Yeah. But this time I went what's the dual swords? It's like fast.
Dual blades?
Yeah, dual blades. It's fast. I like it. So I'm like, I'll keep the great sword just in case. But I've had fun with the dual blades, so it's I feel like this one more so than ever is like, try something new if you want. Except for, I know you're gonna use the glaive. It's fine.
I just use the inside.
Yeah, even Barry or Sherry's tried something new. I don't remember what AC's using. I've only played with him a little bit, but
he's playing with the longsword.
It's cool how everybody's willing to try new shit. I feel like this is like a good injection of new life without changing the fundamentals of Monster Hunter, which is it's what you need in a great true sequel. You know, the changes they have made, I think, work really, really well. And it still feels like Monster Hunter is the most important thing.
I think I
love it. It's great.
Personally, to me, I'm glad we got crossplay, but the multiplayer is a step back. It's fucking bad.
It's a mess.
It's terrible.
I appreciate what they tried to do, but they tried to make one of the easiest things in gaming is like 10 times harder than it has to be.
And I don't
There's
really...
menus for menus, bro.
Yeah, like, I don't understand if the multiplayer is all fucked up. Because, okay, like, you can't... this is so stupid. Like, Monster Hunter World, you could be in the same lobby as friends, but you wouldn't visually be able to see them until you went to the gathering hub. And that's where you guys could, like, prepare little meals and, like, kind of run around and, like, hang out with people, like, inside of an isolated area. And then when you were waiting to go on hunts, you'd go on the hunt inside of that. It's almost like an instanced area, right? The instanced area for the hunt, and then that's when everybody could see each other. It wasn't like you can leave camp willy-nilly unless you went on an expedition and specifically set up. We're going to go on an expedition
quest,
with the people in my party. Right. And you could see on the screen, like, it was so easy to add, like, join group. You could group up with people. It was easy. And now they have this fucking link party bullshit that's difficult. Sometimes it doesn't work. It's hard to find the menu. And then once you get to the link party, you can join the lobby of somebody, but then most of the time still not see them, right? So if I joined a lobby with Brian and we can see each other in base camp, the second we leave to go out into the open world, we disappear. So then you have, like, if you want to do that, you have to environment link.
Yep.
And if you environment link, you can go into the same area, but the second the host of the environment link fast travels, it breaks the environment link.
Found that out, sorry.
It's fucking dog shit, dude. I hate it.
I was shocked because even, like, console to console, so, like, playing with Sherry, we're both on Xbox, I was like, let me just invite you to game. And I go to the tab to do it, and I'm like, I can't even invite you on the same console. It's kind of wild.
And then most of the time, like, if you try to join the lobby via hunter friends, via groups, it doesn't work. It's just like, can't do it at this time. Something went wrong, error code. And I'm like, dude,
it got to the point where I was like, Sherry, just launch a flare and I'll join via flare.
Yeah, like, it's gotten to the point where the way that we've done this is everyone's in the link party and we're all just doing shit. And we say, hey, let us know when you're about to launch a mission so I don't start a mission.
Right.
Because the one thing that's nice about the link party is if someone in your party is in a quest and goes into engage the monster, you instantaneously get an invitation, even if they didn't shoot an SOS.
Right.
So it basically gives your party priority of joining the quest. As long as you don't shoot an SOS out on that. And the SOS is the thing where you can shoot a little signal flare and that opens up your quest to multiplayer. Like, anybody can join it, or you can add friends only, or change the parameters of the multiplayer. But as long as, if you don't shoot that off, no one can join your quest, historically. But now that the link party is in there, if you don't shoot, as soon as you start fighting that monster, I have a notification that pops up that's like invited to quest, and I can join it at any time.
Which is nice.
So if there's 4 people in the link party, we all can join it before an SOS pops, so some random doesn't take the slot. So that is a nice thing.
Yeah.
I just wish we could all start the mission at the same time.
Yeah. It's honestly my only knock on this game, and it's like they could easily address it in the future, and if they don't, I figured out how to get around it, so it's not stopping me from enjoying it, you know?
No, it's really frustrating, and once we figured out how frustrating it is, and then just, like, the workaround, like, that's what we have.
Yeah.
That's just what we have to deal with, and that's how we're going to play together.
That's the worst thing I gotta worry about, though. Like,
it just sucks that, like, a game so heavily based on multiplayer, like, still can't get the multiplayer right. And that's always going to be my biggest knock on Monster Hunter, is, like, they just cannot do a streamlined multiplayer experience. It's bad.
The fishing's awesome in this one.
The fishing's...
I love
the fishing was surprising.
The lures and shit, it's really cool. Like, certain fish react differently to the lures, and there's different ones you gotta use. Like, I'm pretty hooked.
I have yet to get the squid. That's one of the achievements. So I'm waiting.
I don't know where he's at yet.
I'm trying to find the squid.
It's fun getting the big ones and sitting there fighting them. Like, you know, it's been cold. I haven't been able to do it, so it's been a nice little escape.
Fishing is good.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've played all of the missions. They're all done. I have nothing on my mission log. I can't do anything, so.
Nice.
It's just grinding at this point.
And so Monster Hunting B.
Yep. That's what I've been playing.
Is it one of your favorite games? That segue.
Speaking of our top 5 favorite games, there's not really a rhyme or reason to this one. I think, are you going to go in order? You have an order, right?
Yeah, I have an order, but I mean, I'll go in kind of order.
Okay. So let's do rock, paper, scissors to see who goes first.
All right, ready?
2 out of 3.
Shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot, and then we show
on
hand?
Shoot.
Okay, deal.
That's how any normal person does
Just
it.
making sure.
Okay.
Yeah, the parameters.
All right.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Rock,
paper, scissors, shoot.
Yeah. Am I going first or are you going first?
You can go first. Do you want me to go first?
You won the rock, paper, scissors.
I'll go first.
Okay.
just for the audio listeners, that was scissor, paper, rock beats paper.
Yeah, that was double scissor, double scissors, paper, and then we just had the same brain.
Mind link, bro. There we go. Tell we've been friends for a while. All right, so number 5, I did eliminate a lot of great games to take at this point. Y'all know I love Elder Scrolls, right? Everyone's gonna assume I'm gonna pick Morrowind, but here's my little twist. I picked Skyrim for number 5. The reason why. Let me start with clarity.
I played this game.
Yeah. Yeah, I just for also before we dive into this, I'm curious to see. I knew some of yours, but some of them were not surprising to me. But I was like, oh, I should have guessed that. I feel like mine are pretty transparent.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by any of these on this list.
But there was several where it was like, oh, is Morrowind above Skyrim for me? Like I sat there and had that eternal debate. But then I remembered I'm not like a Elder Scrolls Reddit where Morrowind has to be the best thing ever. Morrowind's a great game with more flaws than Skyrim, quite frankly. That's why Skyrim's number 5 for me.
It's interesting that, like, Skyrim... It's always the Elder Scrolls debate to me, is people arguing Morrowind is the best or Oblivion is the best as far as, like, the Elder Scrolls fanboys. And then they say only casuals say Skyrim is the best, which is so fucking stupid. Like, honestly, it's just the same idea as, like, Skyrim was the game that really launched Elder Scrolls into...
Stratosphere.
The stratosphere.
It wasn't just like a little
of anybody can play this game. Yeah.
That's what people shit on the game for, is the accessibility of it. Honestly, it's why I love it. Like, you don't have to just be, stealth archer like you do in Oblivion. Everyone says it's the cheat code in Skyrim. It is.
Was Skyrim the first one where you could own a home? Could you do that in Oblivion? Where you could buy a home and then outfit it with shit?
I think so, but don't crucify my home.
I didn't finish. Because
they had the expansion, the home expansion for Skyrim.
No, because I played Skyrim before the expansions, and you could buy... It was only a couple houses.
Yeah, then they did the homestead expansion.
And then you could do a crazy
homes.
shit with the home, and I never played that one.
It was awesome. I mean...
I admittedly never finished Oblivion because it glitched on me, and I couldn't finish, like, a main quest. Cause
maybe if this remaster comes up, we can change that. But no, man, Skyrim for me, the things that people shit on this game for is honestly something I truly love. Like we were saying, anybody can pick any character they want. It is a lot more open. It doesn't necessarily like, you have to use this build to destroy everything.
You can buy some houses in Oblivion. I guess I just never got to that point in the game.
It's just been too long, honestly. I need a refresher on Oblivion. Like, I can't wait for that remaster.
You don't need DLC.
Another really cool thing why I love Skyrim's like another thing, all the Elder Scrolls hardcore shit on the story, man. I thought the Dragonborn stuff was really interesting. I thought fighting the dragons was like an awesome gameplay mechanic. Mm-hmm. It's so on Elder Scrolls, or it's so foreign to the rest of Elder Scrolls, where it makes it so much more interesting to me in a weird way. Because like a lot of the Elder Scrolls stuff, it's like, yeah, you're the chosen one, blah blah. And don't get me wrong, Dragonborn's kind of the same thing, but fighting the dragons, there's no other experience like that. And there's so many like memories saved, just burnt to my head, like playing the original version of the 360. Like the first time you encounter a troll and he hits you and you just literally die flying across the screen with ragdoll physics. You know, back of the carriage as soon as the game starts. There's so many memories made for this game because I've put hundreds of hours multiple times in this game, but like it always reverts back to Xbox 360 days. Shouting with the Kinect, just stupid shit, you know. There's so many memories made in Skyrim, and it's every time I play it, I relive it over again. I've bought this game, 4 or 5 times now at this point.
Yeah, Skyrim was the first one that I played, and I played that one all the way through.
Yeah. And
I went back to play Morrowind and Oblivion, and like I couldn't get through Morrowind, and Oblivion I gave a shot, and I got stuck on my own accord, not on my own accord, but even then, like when I go back and think about it, it's like I don't care to go back and play those two, but I'd rather play Skyrim. So there's just something about Skyrim that like once I play it, I'm like, oh, I want to keep going. Like I remember my biggest memory from that one is how much shit I could steal and throw in buckets in my house. But B, like the first time you see one of the giants that are just casually out there and you go up to him thinking you're some hot shit and you try and fight this giant and he stomps the shit out of you. And I remember the first time I finally killed one, I was like, holy shit, I finally killed the giant, and I got to loot the giant's little shit because I thought there was going to be good stuff, and it was like a wheel of cheese. And I'm like, damn, dude. But like I still got that high of being like, I finally killed this fucking giant, like, hell yeah. So I just, I guess took his cheese and threw it in my house.
Right.
Because that's all I did in that game was pack rat shit.
I did that a lot in Morrowind, and I think for Morrowind, it's a lot of nostalgia, right? Like the game doesn't hold up.
It doesn't.
There, people play it with mods for a reason. Yeah, people play Skyrim with mods too, but if you play vanilla Skyrim, it's fine. I love Morrowind. I'm not trying to disparage it or talk shit. Like it was hard.
Having the top of the screen compass tracker would just felt better than the Oblivion one.
Yeah. Like
it felt like an upgrade where it was simple. I could tell what I needed to do, but it wasn't like overbearing. Or I feel like Oblivion had one, right? The little compass thing in the top.
It didn't tell you where to go at all. You had to read your journal. Like, there's a compass.
That was Morrowind.
Doesn't have. Oh, I'm sorry. Oblivion, yeah.
Yeah, I think Oblivion had the first one, but I feel like Skyrim was. It was more dynamic. Yeah.
No, Skyrim did a lot of things where it's like, hey, we heard what your complaints were with previous games, and also we're going to try some new stuff. And I think everything works. Like, there's very few flaws I can think of with Skyrim. I think it's the best example of like your Bethesda style game. Fallout's great and stuff, but like this feels like an RPG is supposed to feel like. You know what I mean? I love this game. I don't understand why there's any sort of hate for it. I guess because they just keep releasing it. But for me, it's tough to find really any negatives with this game. Like I love this game. I could play it. Honest to God, the final determining factor of like this over Morrowind for me was like, what can I just pick up and play right now without having to stress, without having to worry? Skyrim's like, it's almost like comfort food. Like if you're not hungry, but you know you need to eat, what are you going to eat? Skyrim's like, I don't know what I want to play. I want to play something. I guess I can do a quest or do a dungeon. It's like that good comfort food that you just, you got to eat to live, right? You got to play games to be a gamer. So Skyrim for me is like the best option. I think it's a timeless game. I can't say enough good things about this game. I love it. I truly do.
All right, bounce me over.
If you think you had a number 5 range, I know you didn't do it in a particular order. What do you think?
I'm not doing 5th best.
Right.
I'm just going to go down the list. Which one do you want to talk about
first? How about that?
I mean, like, maybe the closest to bounce off of Skyrim was probably The Witcher 3.
Oh, yeah. I knew it was going to be on there for you.
Hands down. Like, Witcher, to me, is, like, such... the entire universe of Witcher and what CD Projekt Red did specifically with it is why I enjoy this game so much. I think there's a lot to be said about the differences from the books, and we're not going to talk about that. But strictly, like, as the game, I remember Witcher 2 being such a difficult thing to get into, and I couldn't figure out why. And I remember going to Gen Con a long time ago and seeing the Witcher stands for the first game before it was even out on PC.
Oh, sick.
They had a whole like booth set up to like, promote this game, and at the time I was like, what the fuck is The Witcher? Because all it was The Witcher and like this weird hound wolf looking metal thing, and I'm like, oh, okay. So at the time I wasn't really into PC games. I didn't have a PC, so I kind of walked past it. But now I'm like, damn, like
cool
knowing
shit.
I wanted to know like what was at that booth.
It's like that meme with like boys with a time machine.
Yeah, yeah. So like Witcher 3, the first time it came out, I wasn't completely sold on it until my friend was like, no, this game's like amazing. And I played it, and yeah, it was amazing. It was terribly buggy. Don't get me wrong. Like, this is like fresh when Witcher came out.
Right.
This isn't like, 4.0 where we've got amazing updates or anything. But I think outside of, I think Geralt has a huge stamp on pop culture at this point.
For sure.
For being a Witcher or anything in that variety. I think I enjoy the theme of I enjoy any game that lets me fight monsters. Like, let's be real. The implementation of the fact that, like, you have to go on contracts to fight these monsters and you have to apply specific oils to them and other things may not work on them. And in the difficulty of, like, you can't just go in there and stab the shit and it die.
Right.
And we're so used to action adventure games where you can just go in brute force stuff. And, like, you can't brute force in Witcher for a lot of them. Mm-mm. It takes a lot of strategy and understanding of how the game works mechanically in order to do things. Like, sure, I guess at the end of the day, you could say you could probably brute force stuff, but that added on with, like, the magic of the signs, and, like, some of them were good in some situations, and, like, trying to find builds that were really cool. Like, I only really used 2 of them that worked for me. I was a very, like, dodgy player, where I would put down the sign where it was like a little bubble on the ground, and if enemies stepped in it, they would get like damaged.
That's how I played 2. I've only played 2.
So I would like dump that one down and then dance. And if you upgrade it to a certain point, like you could put multiple down, and then I would just dance them around that, and then I wouldn't even have to like hit them because they would just get damaged by their own shit. At least for the small enemies. For the monsters, it was different. But the actual combat is really good. It was rough to begin with, but they really improved on it. And the story was extremely good. The characters are really good. Like, it just, everything about that universe just spoke to me.
It's the world, man. That's what makes The Witcher awesome.
It's got incredible world building.
Yeah.
So
it's this game I have watched, like, my roommate Ed at the time. I watched him pretty much play the whole thing, and I was just like jaw on the floor the whole time. Like, this looks so fucking
like,
next gen,
yeah,
bro.
And Witcher 3 is one of those games where, like, unanimously people agree it is probably the best implementation of a tutorial mission. Yeah. Like, White Orchard has hands down one of the best tutorials for a game ever. It doesn't hold your hand, but it leads you naturally in a story progression way to learn how to play this game before they really put you out into the open world. It's like a bite-sized area of The Witcher for you to start in, to understand what's going on, and to do your first contract, and then be like, oh, this game is so much bigger than you just thought after you get through it.
It opens up, and it's immense.
Yeah, so Witcher 3, hands down. I don't think I talk about that one as much as some other games on the podcast.
Maybe on the podcast, but like in person, I think everyone that knows you knows you fuck with Witcher.
Yeah. I've got the Witcher chair. I've got the Witcher, like, just shit all over. Like, I've got a Witcher little shrine of stuff.
Well, I mean, honestly, though, as a collector, that's how you know you, like, truly love a game. You know what I mean? Like, there's only a few games I have, like, dedicated shelf space for merch or whatever. And not every game gets that love, honestly, so...
I've got 3, and one of the shrines isn't on my list. It was the one I was debating on.
That's surprising.
I'll say honorable mention, but yep. So that's one of my top 5s.
I can't agree enough. Sure. The world building in The Witcher is what separates it from other franchises, quite frankly, in my opinion. Yeah, there's other games with deep lore that we'll talk about, but like for it to actually affect the mechanics of the game and stuff, there's not a lot of games that honestly do that. Like, sure, there might be, hey, this type of damage, blah blah blah, but like, job of a Witcher is the monster hunt, like it's the name of the gig. You happen to play as a specific Witcher, but there's not a lot of games that delve as deep as Witcher does when it comes to like affecting the game itself.
Right, it's not even just like the world lore, but then it's like the individual lore of like Geralt's journey, of the fact that he's just a Witcher. He's not the main character of the story, and if anybody says so, like they're wrong. Like, Ciri is the main character, and you're watching Ciri's story through the eyes of him, and, you know, he's not used to the spotlight.
Right.
He's a Witcher. He does his shit, and he's used to being hated because in this world, Witchers are hated. So you play as this character, like, watching him get put in scenarios where he doesn't think he's supposed to be. Like, he's a father figure, but he's like, that's not me, but he is. Yeah. You know, like, and his interactions with the other people, like Triss or with Yennefer, like, it's interesting to play a game that fundamentally isn't about him, but you are... He's a protagonist in a vehicle sense.
Yeah.
And I think that is a very interesting dynamic.
It's great for storytelling.
Yeah. Very interested to see how it's going to go for Witcher 4 when our real protagonist is now truly our real protagonist. Mm-hmm. Fight me, you know.
I don't disagree with you.
I don't know. That's one of those hot topics is people don't think... People think Geralt's the main character, and I'm like, he's not. I'm sorry.
I mean, if we ain't talking about the books, read the fucking books.
He's not the main character. Yeah.
No, I don't think it's a hot take at all, honestly, if you've played it. Like, I think it is an interesting narrative. He is a vehicle. It's totally a vehicle. You're controlling him. Like, I'm not going to debate you there. No, Witcher's great. I want to get around to playing this game. Like I said, I've watched the original PS4 version, pretty much played all the way through. I have, 2 or 3 copies of this fucking game.
Do you have the newest one?
The Series X or PS5 SKU? I don't.
That's the one that you should play, because that's got the update on it.
Yeah, I need to get around to it, man. It's one of those games. I've played the shit out of 2, and I love 2, but just watching 3, you're like, oh my god.
2 is rough to play now.
It's been a while, but I loved it. I'll have to go back, but watching 3 being played is one of the first times I was like, this is what these powers of these consoles, like, this is a next-gen game, bro.
And even then, like, you know...
I'm sure it's horribly now, but... I mean, that's the thing. I remember when the next-gen versions came out, the PS5 and the Series X, everyone was like, this feels like a, last-gen game. It's because it fucking is, so chill. Mm-hmm. But that's the thing. Like, sometimes...
It got some nice texture upgrades, but, fundamentally it is a PlayStation 4
it's just an upgraded version. And that's fine. Like, there's games that go on the all-timer list that aren't going to mechanically hold up as well. Right. But, like, Jesus Christ, if that's all you got to worry about, like...
Right.
Let me introduce you to flavored water, bro. I don't know. Like,
we'll move on from Witcher, but last thing, hands down, best in-game card game on this planet.
Oh, yeah.
And I really wish they would have made an actual card game in real life other than the expansion card games. The card game inside of Witcher is not the same as the app of Gwent. They are two very different mechanical games.
I'm glad they finally released the Witcher 3 Gwent physical card game, finally.
Oh, did they?
It just came out like a week or 2 ago.
I only have the ones that came with the expansions.
It was like a week or 2 ago.
Well, shit. All right.
I got something to look for at Gen Con.
All right, Brian, what's another one you got?
Number 4. Again, this is another one I fought between 1 and 2.
I played this one.
Metal Gear Solid. So for me, I got this game when I was a kid. This is one I constantly read about in the magazines. It's like, if you have a PlayStation, you must buy this game. And I was like, oh, it looks cool, but like a stealth game, like I want to kill shit. I was a stupid kid when this came out, right? Playing it, I'm like, this is a really fun spy game. And like I didn't have a ton of games as a kid, so this is one I constantly threw back in and played. And the older I got and the more I played it, I was like, this game is like watching it. It's so cinematic. It's crazy. Like I'm really into movies at one point, probably my like late teen years. I was like super into movies. Like I had to watch 2 or 3 movies a day, like that big. And playing this game was like the closest you could get to that experience on like a PS1 hardware. It's crazy looking back now. Like there's games now that don't match the cinematic angles and the way it's shot and the storytelling and the narrative and the characters.
I feel like anybody who either like grew up in this time period or played games on the PlayStation, like any game on the PlayStation 1, had some kind of fundamental experience with Metal Gear Solid, even if you didn't play it. Because I never played Metal Gear Solid, but the fact that the PlayStation 1 was output as a console that was for all ages. Yeah. Like, it was games for adults and games for kids. Like, I was playing Spyro, but I have such vivid memories of my dad playing Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
I never played it until recently, but, like, I remember watching him play it, and, like, that's a big memory I have of that game. So I feel like, especially with that platform of how the PlayStation 1 functioned to all ages, like, everyone... or a large part of people have some kind of experience with Metal Gear Solid. Like, it's not like an unknown
Oh, no.
title.
This isn't a controversial pick, I don't think.
I think this one, and it's broadly, it's interesting from your next one, and I don't want to jump the gun, but this one is so much more broadly known.
Yeah.
Even though they're both very popular games.
Right. No, Metal Gear, it's weird because it's almost, it kind of surpasses gaming in some ways. It's very much a niche video game thing, right?
Yeah.
But I think some of the storytelling and the way they did it and some of the character narratives, it's like, if you're in the movies and shit, if I just suggest a game, like, do you like espionage movies? I'd be like, you should check out this Metal Gear. Like, just watch the cinematics.
Right. I think there's a lot of things that other areas can pull from Metal Gear Solid, even if they're not game adjacent. And
then, like, Kojima's so heavily invested in pop culture. Like, you'll find little Easter eggs and seeds planted throughout this whole game. Mm-hmm. It's really interesting to watch if you're a movie fan and play this game if you're a movie fan. I was kicking around 2 because, honestly, nostalgia-wise, 2's the big one for me. Mm-hmm. Like, to the point where I remember faking being sick as a kid, staying home so I could beat it. And, like, you couldn't skip Paul's cutscenes. Like, if I had to piss in a bottle and shit. Like, 2 has...
Don't tell me you're a bottle pisser.
No, not only that one time. I literally was like, I was at the last of the back of the game.
No.
I was like, I don't want to miss this.
Oh, my God.
But, like, no, man, 2 for me was, like, one I played religiously because I knew I was getting into after playing 1, but then just being blown away. But I think 1 kind of, there wouldn't be a 2 without 1. Mm-hmm. And as far as just like planting the seeds and watching it grow, because I mean most people say Snake Eater is like the best game of the 3, right?
And that's the one we're getting a remake of, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of the starting point. But this one, man, it's the first time I tried it. Even just talking to people that don't fuck with video games. Like I remember like when we were in high school, we had a computer teacher and he was like a programmer. And he was like, dude, the programming for that game, there's nothing like it now. And this, this is probably 2003, 2004. He was like, there's nothing like this now. This game holds up so well. You just put it into code and like just the shit it does, like the knocking on the walls and shit. He's like, the fact that they even thought about that back then, this game is so far ahead of its time, man. And PS1 games, they either age horribly or they're playable and they're kind of fun. You gotta, put your rose tinted glasses. This one, you could throw it in now and it's not going to be it's not analog controls and shit, but like you could play it now and be like, that was a fun download game, Right.
I played this one on the PlayStation 3 remaster legacy collection or whatever. Yeah. And like now, like understanding this game and playing it in execution, I wish I would have played this on actual hardware. This is one of the very few games that I would just recommend actual or hardware for.
Oh yeah.
Because like I didn't understand like the whole memory card thing until like it happened, and I'm like, wow, I really wish I would have experienced that with like the memory card inside of there.
What the
fuck?
Like
the fact that like your game would read your memory card and then like tell you what was on there, like it kind of sort of did that a little bit on the remaster one. In the whole controller switching thing. It's not the same experience as like running over there and unplugging that shit and like plugging another one in.
There's a couple examples in that game. Like you need a codex, they're like, check the back of the box. So if you run it, you'd be like, wait, what?
Right. So that's one of the very, very few games that I wish I had my first experience with that, like on a PlayStation 1.
And truthfully, there's
nothing like that.
No.
It's so unique.
It breaks the fourth wall so many times, but it's not like Deadpool breaking the fourth wall. It's like the whole reason why you play video games is to be immersed, right? It's kind of tough to get more immersed and be like, hey, you literally have to flip the fucking box over, You literally have to pull the controller port.
It's like, who's immersing in who? Is the game immersing in me or like with the opposite?
It's cool as fuck. It sounds like hipster as shit, but it's so cool, honestly. Like that first experience, all the boss fights are great, man. There's not like a shitty boss fight in that game.
Fuck that helicopter, though.
That's a Metal Gear staple. But no, man, it's a Mount Rushmore game for me. I think looking back, the more I talk about 1, I'm like, this is a way easier choice than I thought it was going to be. I think 2's nostalgia, so if I get like my nostalgic feelings out of it, no brainer, Metal Gear Solid, PlayStation 1. It's a must play, it's a must have. I think people don't even like action games can get enjoyment out of that game. And if you put it like back then in time's perspective, I don't think there's a lot of shit that can even punch with it. Like it's an all-timer for sure. What's next for you?
I'll go over this one quick. I'll go over this one quick because we already kind of talked about it. But Monster Hunter World is on my top 5 list.
I knew you'd get a Monster Hunter. I assume this was the one.
Yeah, World for sure. Rise has a potential to make me feel like it's a better game than World, but it's so it's so early in its infancy that it's not really kind of blossomed into what World really became. World fundamentally as a game really grew to its full potential once we got those events and once we got those post-game updates and all those new monsters and all of the new quests and the new forms of them, and Iceborne. Like, Iceborne being one of the best expansions I've ever played in a game, and it was a full game.
Oh yeah.
And then on top of that, we got new quests and expansions and monsters for the expansion. And like the fact that this game like has the crossover of a Witcher 3 event crossover where you fight a Leshen and you can look like Geralt. You can get Witcher a whole like layered armor outfit that looks like him. You can be, I believe it was Dante. They had a layered They had a layered armor skin to be Dante, I think.
Sick.
I know they had one for Aloy. So, and then they had, hands down, one of the best fights in that game was a crossover with Final Fantasy XIV. Did you ever play that one?
Yeah, you made me play it. You're like,
the Behemoth.
Shit.
Yeah. That one, like, the Behemoth isn't supposed to be in Monster Hunter, but the fact that like they picked him with the fucking unblockable meteor with the comets that came down, like just like Final Fantasy XIV. Like if you busted up the comets, you were fucked. And anytime you go in and play it, and you can tell who's never played it before and has never seen that mechanic, and they just get blown to Kingdom Come. And it was so awesome that they put it in Wilds. Like, one of the monsters has the exact same mechanic, and it's cool every fucking time. So, you know, Worlds being the first Monster Hunter game where I truly felt like I understood how to play the game. Because I've played this since PSP, like, Freedom era. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know how to do shit on Freedom. But I still played it because it was fun. I'm carving up shitty little monsters and I could never beat the big one. But, like, I still played it. Mm-hmm. And Monster Hunter was really difficult for me on a handheld. And I didn't have people to play it with. So I never really blossomed as a Monster Hunter player until World, with it being more accessible.
Yeah. See, it's a good thing sometimes people relax.
Right. And so World is really what brought a lot of people into the Monster Hunter kind of bubble and then said, oh, we want to stay here because this is nice. And it's still kind of hard to figure out. Like, still took a long time to figure out how it worked.
It's very much its own thing.
And it still really takes you having a friend being like, this is what this is, and this is what this is, and this is what this is. I had to figure all that out by myself. Mm-hmm. But it was really rewarding, like, when I played with you and Nate, and you guys were like, what the fuck do I do? And I'm like, hey guys, this is how you do this, and I'm so glad I get to help you with it now. And then like watching like new players go through and having first experiences with the new monsters that you had a difficult time with, it's just fun every single time. So World, I think, has a huge impact on me. My favorite monster is from that one. Like, Nergigante is still the best boy. I have yet to have someone take that one over. So everyone always has their favorite monsters from their favorite game. That's just how it works.
Pookie.
But that's Monster Hunter World in a nutshell.
Yeah, for me, I only had an experience, like when I bought my 3DS, I bought the one that was for 3DS because it was cheap, and I was like, I need something to play. I played Try on Wii, but just like messing around with it, I never dived in. World's the first one I dived in. I think playing with you and Nate, too, with friends, and that game really felt next gen, too. I was like, this is a great fucking game. Like, I could definitely see why this is on people's list.
Like, I remember going through Iceborne with you, and the first time we walked through the snow, being like, holy shit, it parts out of the way, and it tracks, and it stays. Yeah. That was a big deal.
I think if you go back and play World now, it still feels like
it's solid.
It could be a Series X PS5 game.
Actually, and you know, if you're interested in Monster Hunter and you don't want to play Wild yet because maybe you have a PC and it doesn't run great, play World.
Yeah.
You're going to have a great time with World.
World's an all-timer as far as I'm concerned.
You've got tons of people who are still playing that game, who are experienced in that game, who will take you through that game.
Yeah. World's great. I'm so glad that Wilds feels like the sequel to World. It's what I wanted. Mm-hmm. I have Rise. I've never played it.
I think aesthetically, World is better. I don't know I don't even know how to explain it. World aesthetically, I love how that entire game looks. Yeah. And exists as an identity. Wilds being kind of a deserty thing, but I don't know. I don't feel like it's as unique.
It's still new too. Like it's still gonna grow. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say that it's definitively better. Like I'm gonna give it 5-6 years till it's done. But Worlds,
and that's why I said that kind of game is a long-term investment.
Exactly, you're not wrong. Worlds is it's a finished product and it's a great product, and like I can't recommend it enough. Even Sherry was watching us play and she was like, "I want to play this game. Like this looks awesome." And we got Sherry playing it. Like it's the most unique co-op experience of a game out there. I think there's not a lot of games like it. Like y'all should play Monster Hunter Worlds.
I remember running around with my deer head, with my golden deer head and the white ball suit, flying around with the insect glaive, and you guys were like, "What the fuck are you wearing?" And I'm like, "This is the Monster Hunter experience."
Yeah. No, it's a great game. It's one I have literally just honest to God, hardcore etched memories in my brain playing that game. Like it's a special game to me. It really is. Like I knew Monster Hunter would be on your list. I assumed it was going to be Worlds, but
I think we need to go back and finally beat Velkhana together because we never did. We never beat that one together.
Buy more alcohol. Brace myself.
We have to go back and beat Velkhana together.
That would be fun though. It would be fun to dust that one off and play it again, just to be like, oh, the memories. Because
go back in and look at my build and be like, damn, did I know what I was doing at that time? I gotta redo everything.
What the fuck? I just smack shit with a greatsword.
Yeah.
Number 3 for me. So this one
I have not played this one.
Yeah, this is one I think you really need to play because you've only had a horrible experience with the franchise.
Well, you know what? You should just, pick it for the podcast, I guess.
Maybe next year. Castlevania Symphony of the Night, another PlayStation game. So this is one actually I experienced later in life. I'm a fan of like the NES era of Castlevania games. And everyone's like, hey, this one's like a Metroidvania. And if you don't know what that is, Super Metroid, which was actually number 6 on my list, which I had to cut. It was heartbreaking. But I think this is one of the best adventure games ever made. Metroidvania, whatever you want to call it. Backtracking adventure, whatever you want to call it, man.
Yeah.
The map for this game is great. My biggest issue with this type of game is like, you have to draw your own map, or the map sucks. This is the best one, hands down. This has light RPG elements too, which is something new for the series. And it's not, don't get me wrong, it's not going to sit here and be like, switching out your gear constantly. But there's gears that give you stat buffs, and it's a unique Castlevania experience to where they've tried to copy it afterwards, and it's never been 100% executed. Like, the advanced games are great. They're all Metroidvanias. They're not Symphony of the Night. I think the story's awesome. Like, you finally play as Alucard, like Dracula's son. And another thing with this game that's really cool, it separates it, is like, Konami had no faith in this game when it came out. They were like, we have this 3D console. Why the fuck would we do a 2D game? Nobody wants to play that dog shit. And the director was like, you gotta give me a chance on this. Like, we're building something special.
I feel like there was a lot of games on the PlayStation 1 where, like, people didn't come off of 2D either because they weren't sold on 3D or it was so fucking expensive that they couldn't afford it. Mm-hmm. But there was a lot of games that, like, benefited, but also benefited from not switching to.
Yeah. This one, I'm so glad they didn't do 3D. Like, it's beautiful. It holds up now. Like, there's so many cool things in the pixel because you have it on a CD, like the cape flowing. Like, it just wouldn't look the same on a Super Nintendo or a TurboGrafx or whatever. I mean, perfect example, you pop in, Dracula X on the Turbo, and you're like, God, this looks a million times better. Like, having the ability to have it on a PlayStation enhance the graphics tremendously. I think that it's a beautiful game. Some of these rooms you go into, you're just like, holy shit, and the enemy design's great. Some of the boss fights are just absolutely insane, like the ball with the arms hanging out and shit. I love this game. This is hands down the best Castlevania game. It's the most unique Castlevania game also. I really grew up playing the 3 NES games, mainly 1 and 3. And I kind of avoided this one for a long time growing up because it was so different. And I love Super Metroid, and I was like, I don't want there to be competition. How foolish. This is the best Metroidvania. I think that
this is one of the most collectible ones on our lists.
Oh yeah, this is an expensive game now because of how great the game is, and they haven't really released it as much as you think they should. There's options to play it now. You have the Dominus Collection, it's not on the Castlevania Collection surprisingly, but it's on the 2-pack one that's on PlayStation for download. There's an Xbox 360 port that is backwards compatible. That's the first time I played it, and I was like, holy shit, why didn't I have this? I immediately went out and bought it on PlayStation. Back then you could, it was like $30 back then.
Right.
But yeah, this is I have a greatest hits and a normal version of this game. I have the PSP ports, which aren't it's not as great. But man, it's an all-timer game. This is one that you gotta play someday. Like, this is what will save your experience for Castlevania, because I'm sure your experience has not been great.
I also don't like side scrollers, so
that's the thing with this game. It's not a traditional side scroller where you just go right, you go left. It doesn't really hold your hand, which sounds horrible, but like the exploration part of it, it's really fun to explore the map. And the fact that you can just push the back button and be like, oh, I've been here, I'm going the wrong way. My biggest issue with these games is like, where the fuck do I go? There's maybe a couple times in this game I had that, but like, you can figure it out without a guide for the most part. And I think one of the coolest endings ever, like after you beat this game, sorry for the spoiler, it basically flips the map upside down and you go through the castle upside down. So it's like,
I think that the idea of flipping the map upside down, of it being like a mirrorverse kind of thing, like any iteration of that in games, like I feel like Zelda did it first, and Zelda did it so well in a way where we were like, oh, that's a really cool concept, and it was done well, and the fact that it was done well made it a cool concept. Yeah. And so now you see it happening with things like Final Fantasy VI, and now like Castlevania, like having we go through the world again, but in a different way to make it feel fresh. It's a really cool thing, especially, I've seen the videos of you jumping over the chandeliers. Yeah. Like, that's just how it functions. But it is really cool.
It is cool that tied into the story. And, like, there's hidden characters, so if you want, like, this game doesn't have a whip Castlevania character, fuck you, like, it's in there. Like, don't worry. This is the pinnacle Castlevania experience. It's the pinnacle adventure game experience, in my opinion. Yeah, out of principle, I'm picking this one next year to make you play it.
Okay, deal.
What's next for you?
The next one I'll talk about, Baldur's Gate 3.
Hey, speaking of making play games, y'all might see this one later this year.
Baldur's Gate 3 fucking came out of nowhere for me. Like, it was sort of on my radar because it was in early access and I had a friend who was into it. But I don't know what it was. Baldur's Gate 3 wasn't like a game that I was anticipating for a long time and like so ready on launch. Because I had never played 1 and 2. Because I wasn't a PC player, but by the time 3 came out, like, I was already... I had a PC, I'd play on PC, all that kind of stuff. But I remember it launched, and I got it the next week, and I played the dog shit out of that game. Like, it was absolutely so impressive to me of what they did with this game. It was one of the first games that I felt like truly creativity mattered. Like, you could have creative ideas about the game and then do them and things would happen in unexpected ways. Kind of like when you play D&D. Like, if you have a creative way of doing something, or, your dungeon master is supposed to facilitate that in a way. And it felt like the game was facilitating fun ideas and people were always, like, finding new things to do. Especially breaking the game. I think they have patched some stuff, but, like, the first time you see a video of the John Cena music playing and someone transforming into an owlbear and jumping off of the top of the fucking cage to like slam on the what is it? What do you call a smithy forge? The forge robot, and it just like, I don't know, the off the top ropes owlbear is so fun. Like, there's just, and then, like, oh, we're going to fight this thing, let's throw the flask, and the beholder comes out and fights him instead. Or if you really want to fuck things up, like, throw this flask and you don't know what it does, and next thing you know, a beholder pops out, and you're like, holy shit, what's going on? Like, there's just so many little hidden things in this game that it makes you want to replay it and replay it and replay it. And there's so many paths you want to replay it and replay it. So I think Baldur's Gate 3 is one of the biggest injections into the gaming industry we've had in so many years.
I think it's going to have a lot of long-term changes for the industry, honestly.
A lot of long-term changes. It was a huge... And, it didn't hit numbers. Like, if we're talking about consecutive player numbers, it hit a fuck ton of people, right? We're not talking about... The fact that it was in Steam's top 10 is something. Yeah. And, like, Monster Hunter Wilds hit more. It's a Capcom, it's Monster Hunter, and it appeases
sold 5 million copies in 5 days.
Yeah, but like Baldur's Gate 3 hitting so many players was completely unheard of for a game like this.
Well, it's like D&D's always been kind of niche as it is, right? I feel like, that's me, I've never played D&D until very recently. It was like a different kind of nerd for me.
It has kind of been like a small niche audience type deal.
Bigger,
COVID is really what pushed that one up, because people were, they sat down and they watched them. Yeah. But people understanding, like, especially people who have played D&D and enjoy D&D, but you don't have an actual video game to play it that does the same thing. It still doesn't do the same thing as like an experience of playing at a table with a person who can just come up with things on the fly. Like a game can only do so much.
Right.
But the only do so much this game can do is a fucking lot.
Yeah.
And I think that surprised a lot of people with how creative it was.
This is one that I remember when it came out, I just kept hearing about how awesome it was. But like at the time, I didn't play D&D. I had no interest. And I was like, what's the hype with this game? Like, it really did.
I know. I wouldn't shut the fuck up about this game.
Not just you though. Like everywhere online, every article was Baldur's Gate 3. Every scrolling through Facebook or any social media of your choice was Baldur's Gate 3. And I was like, all right, this sounds like it's going to be a big deal. I'll pick up a copy of it. So I got like the deluxe one, right? And now that I'm playing D&D, it's like, damn, I cannot wait to play this fucking game. Like, this is what I've missed out on this whole fucking time. And it's cool that, like, they actually made physical copies where all the data is on disc. I think this is a really important game long-term also as far as for, you know...
It's not all on there. It's playable.
I hear you, but...
They have patches that have came out
The fact that they actually fucking tried and put it in writing, bro, like, that's a big deal. And the fact that it's a small developer that did this, like, this is an important game for sure. I think this is going to be probably one of the games that, you know, Mount Rushmore of this console generation for sure. Because I've always, whenever I troll about this console generation, I'm like, what's your favorite game? Other than Baldur's Gate 3 is the question I ask, you know. I'm excited to play this one. It may or may not be installed. So, plan is after I beat a certain podcast game to start it.
It was funny because, like, I was replaying, I haven't played the Dark Urge Path, so I was like, let me play the Dark Urge Path for a little bit, and I made my D&D character from our first game.
Nice.
And if you don't know, my my character from the game that I play with Brian, his name's Byron, and he is a scribe wizard that all he wants to do is collect spells, and his spell book is a 9-pocket, spellbook binder that he puts his spells in.
I wonder what the inspiration for this.
Yeah, I wonder what the inspiration is. And it, you know, so I made him in the game as a wizard, and it doesn't translate because you don't have scribe wizard subclass and stuff like that. Like, you know, it's very limited.
Yeah.
In a sense of like what you've experienced in our game.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have all that fancy shit in Baldur's Gate. There's mods for expanded stuff, and the modding community is amazing.
I'm sure I can.
And
imagine.
Larian is super supportive of the modding community too. It's not like they don't. They're like, oh, don't, like, fuck you, don't play with mods. They're like, let's make it easier for you guys to use the mods. So, it was fun.
Nice.
It was weird, though. I was like, I don't know, playing with so many spells, but it's so low level, or I'm like, fuck, I'm out of spell slots. What do I do? Shit.
I'm actually, like I say, this is a game I didn't have any expectations with. It just wasn't something that was on my radar, but now that I'm introduced to the world of D&D, like, I truly can't wait to play this one. I'm excited to think.
You can play Dragonborn.
Yeah.
I already know that's what you're going to do.
Probably. I like lizard folk, what can I say?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this is going to be an all-timer. I think this is going to be a lot of people's list for the, you know, games of this generation.
Yeah. Baldur's Gate 3, hands down, it's got to be one of the best RPGs. If you ever talk about a top RPG list, like, it's on there.
Yeah, already.
Like, it's inarguable.
I think it's going to climb higher as time goes on, honestly.
I don't think we're ever going to get a game like this again.
I agree.
Unfortunately. I think Larian has so much potential to be so creative with further games, but I think the formula for this one is done and said and done.
It's one of those things where it's like right place, right time. The weather conditions were perfectly aligned. You know, there wasn't enough atmospheric conditions where you could perfectly see the planets. Like, it's...
And you also have to think, like, it is adjacent to Dungeons and Dragons because they had the licensing to be able to do that. Like, they've got the spells from D&D, and they've got the Sword Coast from D&D. And so now that they've separated from Wizards, aka Wizards sort of fired them, and then they said, fuck you, we're going to leave. They have the opportunity to make a whole new game with they're going to have a new game system. It's going to be something like Divinity.
Yeah. I
hope it's like Divinity 3 with a better system. But it's going to be an in-house game system, or they may use something like, I don't know, maybe they'll go to Pathfinder. I have a feeling it's going to be their own shit.
Sick.
But people are going to be more interested in playing Larian's own game because of what they did with Baldur's Gate, and there's a trust in that studio.
And I feel like if they need an injection of funds, like, people are going to start reaching out to them and be like, hey.
I just don't think it's going to have the grab on people outside of the sphere because it doesn't have some correlations to Dungeons and Dragons.
That's fair. It was a special game at a special time. I don't think this is ever going to be replicated ever.
No. No. But What's your next game?
Speaking of games that were never replicated ever, this one's replicated a million times, but this is
on anything you could think of.
The granddaddy.
On a toothbrush.
Doom, the original Doom, 1993.
On your Samsung fridge. On a potato.
So this game, honestly though, as far as just picking up and playing a game, you have 5 minutes, we're leaving, Brian, Sherry's getting ready, I'm like, I'll throw Doom on really quick and go through one level. Like, this is the game more than any other game I can just pick up and play. There's some maze-like levels and stuff, but like now there's the option to quick save. As far as like what determines a video game, like I just want to have fun and shoot shit mindlessly. This is your game. I don't think any iteration, including Doom Eternal, Doom 2016, has ever matched that first experience of the first time playing Doom. I remember getting like the shareware back in the day.
Yeah.
And it's like I was a little kid, I'm talking 3 or 4. Sit in my dad's lap and be like, don't tell mom you can push the space bar. So like this is like the first time like video games were injected into me, and just seeing like demons being splattered and shit was like, this is a whole new world. This is crazy. Like, because I mean we played Wolfenstein 3D growing up, you know, and it was just different. There's nothing wrong. Like, who doesn't like killing Nazis? But like Doom was just like this whole new thing, and it felt like the next leap in technology, and just even the graphics. Like Wolfenstein looks so primitive compared to Doom. It's crazy. I think Doom holds up. Like, yeah, obviously it looks dated, but it's got a certain charm to like the old aesthetics, you know? Mm-hmm. Even like the new imp designs and the creature designs, they don't do it for me, man. Like, I just want to see those sprites that don't go sideways and like they're always facing you. Doom's a magical game, man. It's special. Like the fact that the franchise is still around 30 years later is just like crazy to me, because like it's another of those things. This is pre-internet. Like, this game just came out of fucking nowhere. It was like, Doom. You kill shit, you shoot shit.
It's crazy because Doom has, like, progressed so much from Doom to, like, you know, Doom Eternal.
Yeah.
And what's the new one? Doom...
Dark Ages.
Dark Ages?
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking of, like, the iteration of Doom all the way up until then, and comparing Dark Ages, like, side by side with Doom, the original.
It's crazy.
And I feel like it still has that identity. Like, they didn't lose it in there. It's just like a beautiful looking game that functions exactly the same and does the same shit, but you're like, that's Doom, man.
Even like, so when Doom 3 came out, everyone was like, oh, they're deviating too far. Like, this is a horror game, and it's like, there's a light, there's not guns. So when they went back to the drawing board and relaunched with Doom 2016, they were like, hey, let's make this simplistic. Like, let's make a run and gun shooter. Mm-hmm. And everyone's like, I've never played anything like this. I'm like, yes, you fucking have. It's just been 30 years.
Right. Like, I feel like they've maintained it. They've maintained it. Right.
Yeah.
And even in that little, like, backslip, right? Mm-hmm. You backslip a little bit sometimes, but, like, it's a bounce back.
Yeah.
Of, like, okay, let's hone in onto what makes Doom Doom and what makes people want to play Doom. And now just slap some pretty shit on there and some quality of life and some really fucking cool graphics. But, like, at the core, it's still Doom.
And honestly, it's my biggest problem with Doom Eternal. It doesn't feel like fucking Doom. It feels like the next step of Doom. But, like, call me simple, call me stupid, whatever. Doom in its essence is, like, spacebar opens doors, right clicker, control shoots monsters. Like, that's the essence of Doom.
I mean, yeah, if you think about it in that way, like, yes.
Don't get me wrong, Doom Eternal is a great game.
Doom Eternal still has the identity of Doom, though.
No, the soul's there.
You're right.
Yeah, for 100%. It adds so much more things. One of the things I love about the original Doom is the simplicity of it. And, like, back then, you gotta think, like, when Quake came out, everyone was like, oh, Doom's ancient history. Is there a new Quake around? Sure isn't. Doom literally is eternal, bro. Like, everyone jokes,
you want
like,
the dumb version of Doom.
I do. I love 2016 also, because it went back to that, like, this is the closest experience I've got to this original game.
I've only played Doom 2, I think.
See, Doom 2 is a great game because, like, the double barrel shotgun, the weapons are great in 2, but the level design, it's very maze-like, and some levels are like 30, 40 minutes. Mm-hmm. You don't got time for that, bro. Give me 10-minute path, go kill demons.
Doom Eternal is one of those that's, like, on my list to play.
It's a must play.
But I'm just like, I don't want to stress over my games, man. Is there an easy mode?
Yeah, there is, but it's not like it's a cakewalk. Like,
I'm that easy mode bitch, all right?
I feel like I'm a Doom pro. Doom Eternal, sometimes I'm like, after a fight, I have to pause it and be like, I need a cigarette. Like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, no.
But
that's why I haven't played it yet.
Doom 1, we should go through this because, I mean, I know it's a different experience. Like, we're different gamers. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, we are.
But, like,
I love my farming games, bro.
Yeah, this is one game, like, I can put the rose tinted lenses on and be like, I'm never taking these fuckers off, and you can't make me take them off. But Doom's timeless.
So
it really is. Like, it's eternal, bro. Like, there's that little microcosm of time of, like, how big an organic explosion this game was, where people were literally stealing people's mail to get the shareware and shit.
Yeah.
it'll never be matched. And it's like, that's the gaming I grew up in because my dad was like a computer programmer and shit. And that's so nostalgic to me. And I'm not even going to sit here and lie to you. Like, nostalgia was my pick for Doom over even Doom 2. Because I remember when Doom 2 came out, we had to like upgrade to a Pentium 2 and shit.
But Pentium 2!
But like Doom 1, it's a special time. There's nothing like it. It was the first organic like boom for video games. Like Wolfenstein was a big deal, but it wasn't fucking Doom.
Yeah.
Quake was a big deal, but it wasn't Doom. Doom's eternal. God bless Doom. I'm glad it's still around after all these years. Like,
I love seeing all the different ways people play that game.
Yeah, the fact that it's
so
surpassed
funny.
pop culture too. Like,
it's so
that's
funny.
the first thing they're asked. Well, does it run Doom? Like,
yeah.
It's cool how like, I don't want to say Doom's mainstream, but like how it's kind of entered the subconscious of like normal culture.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Doom's a special game. It's like the most video gamey shit ever too. It's like Space Marine shoots demons. Like, the fact they made movies is wild to me, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think of Doom anything other than purely a video game. And the fact that there's
I just completely forgot that Doom is a movie existed, and now I'm like, I see fucking Dwayne Johnson in my brain now.
That's like the fucking Rock. Like, they got the Rock to make a fucking Doom movie. Like, it's so crazy that Doom's penetrated
when the Rock
culture.
was still slightly humble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so funny to me because I don't see it as that. Like, it'll always just be, you know, a 4-year-old kid sitting on my dad's lap pushing the space bar.
Mm-hmm.
And even now when I play it, I'm just like, the memories.
Right.
As I splat demons with rocket launchers. Like, Doom will always be the warm and fuzzy. Even if it's not number one. You know how hard it was not to pick this as number one. But number one for the same reason for me. But we'll let you go next.
Well, let me go next.
Yeah.
My next one on my list is the obvious, unsaid Final Fantasy VII. I don't know how many times I've talked about that game on this.
If I had to guess for your number
podcast.
one, it was going to be Final Fantasy VII.
Honestly, to be fair, it took me a second to think about if I wanted this one on there or if I wanted 16. And
16?
Yes.
I thought you were going to say remake. Whoa.
No, like Final Fantasy VII, if I had to pick one, it's still the first one.
Yeah.
I think that the remakes are great, but fundamentally as a game, like 7 hits a lot of notes for me as a person. Mm-hmm. I think as a game, it was really hard for me to not say no to 16
Need to fucking finish
for
it.
different reasons. But 7 is like the game that made me like a gamer. You know, that was the first one I played by myself. I think it was, what did I say? I was 7 or something like that. I can't remember. Because that game came out, yeah, it was definitely a couple of years after it came out because I would have been way too young to play that game. But 7 was the first one where it was like, oh, I want to play these kinds of games. I never got past climbing the wall in Sector 7, right next to the Don's mansion. You had to climb up the wall to get to the upper plate, and I never could figure out how to do it. So instead of me like stopping and playing a different game, I just started from the beginning again. So I don't know how many times I've played that first iteration.
Nice.
All the way through until I hit the select button, and the select button shows you, it puts a little icon on the screen where you could like jump on ladders or go through doors or exit areas, and that's when I could see, holy shit, that's where I'm supposed to go next on the wall. And then boom, next thing you know, I'm finally in the open world. I didn't even hit the open world yet. But like that game, I have a very large shrine for. Like that's my if you had to put an identity to you, like Final Fantasy VII is my identity game. And I know that's a lot of people's like favorite Final Fantasies, but like
maybe there's
it was a reason for it. You know, it was a really, really big deal in the gaming. Mm-hmm. It was an inspiration for a lot of things. It was technologically a huge deal on the PlayStation 1. Mm-hmm. Like, it was a global event. Oh, yeah. People waiting for this game. And it was just a game that's a huge part of my own identity. So I could, like, not put it on this list.
For sure.
I don't really know much more to say about it.
No,
like, everyone kind of, this is the game, everyone knows this game. It's the same story every time. Everyone has the same experience with it. There's
a reason why people weren't bitching when they said we're going to remake it. Like, people were nervous, I think, because this is one of those games that like surpasses people's. This is just a game to like. No, this is important to people. You know what I mean? There's more. Yeah,
right, like when you talk about remaking this game, especially when we were like, okay, it's gonna come out in 3 parts, there's 3 discs. We kind of know where the first game is gonna stop. The first game stopped so much sooner than what we thought. way fucking sooner. Like in the original, disc 1 ends at the Temple of the Ancients. Right, once you get past Temple of the Ancients and you get the Black Materia, I believe that's when disc 2 starts. We didn't get to the end of that shit until Rebirth.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, what's all the shit they're gonna cut?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like the whole, and there's spoilers if you haven't played the game. I'm not gonna go into it, but like there's just a lot of things that like that's a sentiment where it's like we hold the first game so near and dear into the story, and like there's problems with it. The story's fucking convoluted, dude. Like, and that's why I think 16 is a superior narrative, where 7 has better party members, like hands fucking down. I'm sorry. But like, there's a lot of shit inside of 7 that's so fucking convoluted that you really don't even understand it until you've played Crisis Core, until you've watched Advent Children, until you've done other supplemental shit. And then you're like, oh, I get why XYZ happened. That's a knock for me on that, where it's like it's a little convoluted in the sense where it's difficult to explain without more. Not as bad as fucking Kingdom Hearts. Let's just say that. But Kingdom Hearts was also made by the same fucking guy, so you know, there's a pairing there.
Yeah.
I don't know, but to me, I think that's one of like top 5 easily.
Oh, it's a Mount Rushmore for gaming and importance. That's the thing. So it's bigger than gaming, right? I think this is one of the. You can probably make the argument with Doom also, but like this is one of the first examples where I think you ask a majority of people like, this game bigger than gaming? Yeah. For the time it came out, like I said, there's so much history behind it, but this is like the one game where it's like you ask anybody, what's your favorite Final Fantasy? I'm going to go 9.5 out of 10 people are going to say Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, I mean, everyone always has, like, there's some people who are like, 10's my favorite, because that might have been the first one they started with.
Right.
And a lot of these games are the ones where I started with that one.
Right.
You know, people who are older than me that started off in the Nintendo era, like, a lot of them say 16 or 6 is their favorite. You know, and 6 is an amazing game, but a lot of people like that might have been their first one, or the first one that, like, really impacted them. Like, I'm a PlayStation 1 baby. So 7's going to be mine. Some people's it's 8.
Right.
Some people's it's 9. Because you had 3 heavy hitters right on that console. Yeah. 8 wasn't loved enough. And I think it's gaining traction now. But then now you got to think of the people who are a little bit younger than me, who their first one was 10 on the PS2. And a lot of people say 10's their favorite. So you've got just a chain of Final Fantasy of like, which one's your favorite? It's usually the first one you played.
That's fair.
And 7 is a lot of people's first Final Fantasy played. It's
such a long-running franchise that's going to happen. But I still feel like people think of Final Fantasy. Like, I'm casual. I've only played 7 on PC. I've never beaten it. I feel like majority of people you ask, like, what's Final Fantasy? They're like, got the sword.
And it's so iconic, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you put a lineup of all the main characters of Final Fantasy, like, people are going to point out, oh, I know who that guy is.
Right.
I know who Cloud is.
If you had to put a picture in a Pictionary of Final Fantasy, it's going to be Final Fantasy.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It's going to be the iconic picture of him standing there looking up at the fucking Shinra headquarters.
Yeah, that cover's iconic. Like,
for real.
Yeah, it's literally, that term gets thrown around so much, but it's truly an iconic.
It really is.
The magazine ads and shit just being like, whoa.
Dude, the first time when you play through a remake and it goes through and it hits the scene where the cinematic camera shifts, where it's Cloud looking up at the fucking headquarters, just like that. Just like that wave of nostalgia that hits the first time was so fucking big.
Like I said, I don't have any sentimental attachment to this game, but playing the remake and seeing that, I was like, putting yourself in someone else's shoes where it's like, I know what this game means to people, you know what I mean? I could be like, damn, that'd be so cool. I wish we could get that for, you know.
Right.
Another game on this list, we'll say, but.
There's, you know, and I'll end it with like, you know, you wait for something for so long because it's so impactful to you as 7 was, and then you play the remake, and I can't even get through the first cutscene. Like, the first cutscene when you start the game and the first cinematic starts and it blows up and you see the whole of Midgar and the fucking music hits that crescendo and you're just like... your eyes start leaking, your nose starts leaking. Like, that was me playing the game for the first time, man. It was like years waiting, and we finally got there.
I think this is another game that's kind of like Metal Gear in terms of like it's bigger than gaming. Like the music for this game's like, if you went to the orchestra and they were playing this, you know what Final Fantasy is, you'd be like, wow, this is a beautiful piece. This game's, it's bigger than gaming. It's bigger than video games. It's the best. It's one of the examples people use as video games as art. You know what I mean? Like, if you had to put a game in a museum and be like, this is an art piece, this is one of those games. Even like the graphic style for the time, like, it wasn't supposed to work. There was controversy with that shit. This is one of those timeless games, honestly.
Polygon people stands up. I think they're adorable.
Yeah.
If you don't like them, that's your problem.
It's dated now, but it's like it's very much of like it doesn't. I wouldn't say it's like a '90s game. This is a game that's timeless.
I don't think it's dated in a sense where it's like the character models for the game were made at the best capacity that they could with what they were given, but I feel like they were made in such a unique way that like
it's a stylistic choice is what it looks like.
Right.
To me. Yeah.
To me, like Final Fantasy VII model characters are timeless in the same way that pixel art is because they did it in such a unique fashion. And it has that juxtaposition with like the painted backgrounds.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. No, even the painted backgrounds, like I remember the PC version's got issues like won't load and shit, and just seeing the painted background before the characters appeared, be like, God damn, this is a pretty fucking game. I think it's one of the best examples of this game is art. I really do. It's a timeless game. You could throw it in now as an RPG player, turn-based player, and be like, it's a fucking great game.
Mm-hmm. This episode will probably be a little long, but I think both of our last picks are gonna go hand in hand. So why don't you introduce yours?
Yeah, so this is for me. This was the only easy thing for me. This is number one. No questions asked. This for me is more how you're saying Final Fantasy is like important to you as a person.
Like if you have a personal identity game, like
Mass Effect, the original one.
Yeah,
and I know like 2's a better game. Like I don't care. I know it is. Like I'm telling you right now, I know it is.
Mass Effect 2 is my 5th game on my list.
There you go. And I
think
get it
for different reasons.
Yeah.
Though.
So like before I get into that argument, really quick for Mass Effect 1, it's more than a video game for me. There's so many things where it's like the universe was aligned for me to like for this game to speak with me, right? So like put yourself in mindset. The way I got this game, my mom, who's no longer with us, randomly on her own picked out a Christmas present for me, and it happened to be Mass Effect, which is like, okay, that's cool. Like I got that special connection where mom's like, you like aliens and sci-fi, here you go. And she's not with me. I told her like, also the time this game came out, it was like I was literally 17 or 18. Mm-hmm. My parents were like, blow your candles out and get the fuck out. Like this is the first time I was like, this is all I have. I was literally like by myself living with my brother in an apartment, and it's like I had Mass Effect. And you know how many times I played this fucking game like in a row? Literally to get all the achievements and shit because you had to do the side quest characters and stuff 12 times.
The little spidery dudes.
So,
yeah. Finding all the data, the
keepers,
codexes.
Yeah, I know where every single one of them is by heart. How many times I've been
that's what it was, the keepers.
Literally, Nate was like, bullshit, and I was like, I'll get this achievement right now, watch. I've played it so many times for remastered. But like, I think this game, I got this game at like the most important time of my life. Like I was on my own, and it's weird because like the parallels, like do whatever you want, it's space, it's opened up. It was such a weird like connection of just like experiencing that and then playing a game to like block out, oh shit, you're eating ramen at night, like you struggle. You know, this is like literally I was by myself for the first time with Mass Effect. It was crazy.
It's so interesting that like your mom picked Mass Effect and just in a way where she was like, oh, you like sci-fi and aliens and you like games. Yeah. There are so many dog shit sci-fi alien games that she could have got.
That's what I'm saying. And like I was like really into like Western RPGs at the time, and like I was familiar with Jade Empire and BioWare and KOTOR. For her to just be like, yeah, I kind of listen to some of the bullshit you say sometimes. Here you go. Like the stars really align this one. Like I've got pets that are named after Mass Effect characters.
Yep.
Like so many that are no longer with us. Like I'm literally trying not to get emotional right now. Like Mass Effect is beyond special to me. Honestly, it sounds so lame, but like it makes me think of a certain time in my life that I'm never going to experience again. Like just the stars kind of just aligned like so perfectly where it's like the most beautiful thing ever, man. It really is. It's more important to me than video games. It's more important to me than just pop culture. I can't fully even express it in the words. Like it's the most perfect thing, man. Like the story's great. That's the thing too. Like just take all the personal shit out of it.
Right.
It was the first time it was like, it's such a common thing now. Like, you're listening to Rogan, they're talking like, maybe civilization was wiped out. Back then, I remember it's the first time, even fuck Metal Gear. Like, the first time I was like, what the fuck? Like, this would be such a crazy thing if it was real. Like, just the mind-numbing experience. I think it's because of the place I was in my life, why, like, this game impacted me so much. But I can't even articulate in the words correctly how much this game means to me. Like, it's the first one. 2's a better game.
Right.
The first game for me is just so fucking special.
And like, I think Mass Effect 1 is like, it's one of those games where you play and it truly feels like a sci-fi game.
Yeah.
It's got the sci-fi, it's got the fantasy, it's got the mystery where you want to keep playing it. And it's not just like go out into space and shoot things and like discover new planets and like record alien life into your little fucking reader. Like there truly is a mystery here of like why you're playing this game or like why you're a Spectre and why you're investing in being one.
I think the pacing of that first game is just like perfect.
And like
it's
once
just like a dynamite until it gets to the end and blows up.
Yep, like traveling down that fucking tunnel with the Mako.
Yeah, dude.
Into the launch teleporter, like that whole thing up until that point, it's a huge, very impactful moment. But you know, Mass Effect in and of itself, it's like, is it an RPG? Yes, but like, is it a shooter?
Right.
Yes, but
the sci-fi aesthetics, it's like the perfect game made for me, bro. It's like, hey, you're gonna have meaningful characters, you have a very interesting story. Like, man, there's not much. I don't know how you can get a game that was like, if I had to write a game, I feel like it'd be something like this.
Right, and it was cool. Like, it had something for everyone. Like, it had the people who wanted to be, like, more techie strategy with their, like, abilities.
Right.
And then you had the people who wanted to brute force shit and just be a soldier and just, like,
had builds,
blast shit.
But it wasn't to the point where it was like, you fucked up your build, you've got to start over.
Right. Like, you could fix it, and, like, have the biotics were really cool, where it have that, like, fantasy, like, magical feel, but, like, in a technological, like, mindset fix. It had a little bit of everything that makes an RPG an RPG, and even like the swords and boards aspect, but like we've amplified it into truly sci-fi, but still recognizable as like, this is plausible.
Right.
Like sometimes sci-fi goes so fucking off the rails that you're like, this is way too much sci-fi that I can't, you know, it felt very Star Trek sometimes. Yeah. It felt more Star Trek than Star Wars.
Yeah, because even like the whole idea of a Spectre is like, go out and do whatever you want. If you want to explore, you can do it, you know. But I think the further your point too is like small little things like the Omniblade, right? Like it's a sword. It's all story driven because it's like it's past civilizations that have been destroyed. You gain some of their knowledge and it's like, hey, they had melee weapons. Like the Mass Effect rabbit hole is so fucking deep.
Right.
Like it's so cool. It's the coolest shit ever, man. I think the characters, some of the best companions you're ever going to see in a game ever. Everybody's got a favorite. Everybody's favorite's different.
Everyone's favorite is not Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, that's true. That's the only thing we can agree on as a community. But I mean, honestly, I was always stout about 1 being like the better game until I played the remakes. What'd they call it?
Bro, 2 is so
yeah, and I was like, holy
good.
Shit, I was sleeping on 2. Like
2 is so good.
I'll tell you right now, 2's a better game, but yeah, go ahead.
Right, Mass Effect 2, hands down, is one of the best games ever made.
Yeah.
Without a fucking doubt. It bounced off of the great platform and the great foundation of Mass Effect 1, right? We had all of this, and this was, and for me, this really truly felt like a real sequel.
Oh, yeah.
Where shit you did in the first game, they had the game save transfer, and it was like, holy shit, it's reading all of my shit from the other game, and shit that happened in the first game affects who I have here.
Like real consequences. Bro.
Right, like, I was like, oh, you know. And if you start the game you can play Mass Effect 2 and never play Mass Effect 1 and still understand it. And it's going to generate a starting point for you. I think, is the standard Ashley is there? If you've never played it before.
It's been too long, and honestly, I never picked that.
I can't remember yet. I can't remember. But, you know, like, that whole big moment in Mass Effect 1 where you had to choose between Ashley and fucking Kaidan.
Yeah. And
that came over to the second game. In the second game being like, you're going to have a whole new fucking crew. You're only going to have 2 fucking people that are repeats.
Yeah.
All these new people. And, you know, the first game we had how many? 4, 5 to pick from? I think it was 4. Rex, Tali, Ashley or Kaidan, and Garrus. So at some point it was only 4, right?
Now I'm questioning my fanhood.
So the companions like weren't as you had good companions and it was a small group of them, but then 2 it was like you're gonna have like fucking 10 of them, and I'm not talking about
Jesus Christ.
fucking Liara. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was like, I know there's one more. Goddamn it.
I never picked Liara, so like that's why I forget about her. I know I'm gonna get like flamed on the internet for that one, but like we're not gonna talk about the DLCs. The DLC characters.
Oh, dude, even the base game. The fact that no one got lost in the sauce in that game is fucking wild, bro. For 2, there's so many characters, but
dude,
everybody gets their moment.
Many. Everyone gets their... And that was the huge part of why this game is so good, is the gameplay was good.
Yeah.
They vastly improved on the shooting mechanics of this game.
I can admit there's faults with Mass Effect 1. They all get addressed in 2.
At first,
I missed the grenade, but other than that...
At first, I thought the fucking heat clip shit was crazy, and I'm like, what the fuck, I have to reload in a space game now? But it evened out as, like, it's gonna make it more difficult. It's resource-based now.
Right.
The companions were amazing. I loved all of them.
Same.
My favorite is one that people fucking hate. So,
Who?
like, Miranda.
Oh, no, Miranda's awesome.
Miranda's hands down my favorite. Yeah. I think if you actually look into her character progression throughout the game, because a lot of people are like, she's a fucking bitch, I'm never going to talk to her, I'm not going to use her.
Fuck out of here.
But, like, without investing inside of that character, you're not going to see, like, why she is, and why it matters so much.
She's the most interesting character through outside lenses, where it's like, you're given everything, you have every excuse to just be like, perfect, fuck you, but you're not. You know what I mean? Like, it's such an interesting take on a character that Silver Spoon.
You could easily deep dive on her in a really great way, and I think she is the character for me that has the greatest character progression. Where you've got a comparison of some characters who have regression, like Garrus does in his whole journey, but it's a different journey.
Back nicely, but
like, you wanted to go get those dossiers and be like, oh, who's the new one? Like, I remember going and get Jack for the first time. I was like, what the fuck? Where am I?
That's the thing, like, you have amazing characters, and you're just going to be like, yeah, we're not going to replace them, but you're going to have the option. And for me to even consider deviating from the original crew,
I know, and it was
wild,
so
bro.
Right. And then you get, like, people love Thane.
Oh,
like,
dude,
everyone, Legion was so cool. And, like,
amazing.
You have a favorite for everybody. And everyone in that game is someone's favorite. And it's like Pokemon, right? Like, there's so many fucking Pokemon, but, like
Pokemon with souls.
There's a Pokemon for everyone. And so Mass Effect 2, like, you have... Every companion is so fleshed out, has an incredible, like, individual story that you need to go do that is very important for the story overall. And it's a game that, like, really was the first time I felt like a choice in my game truly, truly, truly mattered.
100%. And the biggest issue with 3.
If I did not invest into those characters and I made the wrong choices on that suicide mission, they were fucking gone.
Gonzo.
There was no, like, plot armor for them. There's no fucking plot armor for them at all.
What? It hurt worse because it was your fucking fault.
It was. It was your decision
bro.
as a captain. If you didn't want to invest in them and you were like, well, fuck the fucking side missions, I got my crew, let's go. Some of you ain't gonna live. You had to walk on that ship later in Mass Effect 3 and see their fucking name on that on that memorial. And I remember playing a playthrough where I killed fucking everybody. Nobody fucking survived that shit. Except for, like,
ones that have to, yeah.
The ones that have to, and I can't remember exactly who they were at this point.
Depends on...
Because I've only played Mass Effect 3 2 times.
It depends on your decisions, yeah.
But I remember, like, going up to that, because I was like, how is it gonna feel playing Mass Effect 2? Because I've played that game as many times as you've played 1. Yeah. So I was like, I have never played this game in my entire life of when nobody lived. So I'm gonna play a game where nobody lives. And it was the roughest experience I've ever played. And then playing 3 right back to back. Yeah. And I was like, holy shit, it feels so hollow. I'm like, oh, my friends aren't there anymore. I fucking killed them all.
For real. You know how dedicated I was. So I played Mass Effect 2 blind, got everything, went out and bought the strategy guide. Then, like, when I knew we got to the end of the suicide mission, I was like, I'm making sure the people I care about. I have the strategy guide sitting right there. I'm like, I'm making sure these fuckers aren't dying. That's how important they are to me.
That's so funny.
Yeah. And then, like, literally, I was like, let me try it blind first just to, like, not be a total asshole. Mm-hmm. And I had Garrus die. He blew up when he stays back for you, whatever. And I was like, nope, I've never pushed start. Dashboard loaded my save faster in my life.
And it was, you know, in Mass Effect 2 was my first midnight release game I ever went to.
Oh, sick, dude. That's
like,
awesome.
I didn't go to those. I never, like, pre-ordered shit like that. I never went to those, but I got the collector's edition. I fucking wanted that shit, like, midnight. Yeah. And I remember when Mass Effect 3 came out, I did the same shit where I had just come back from training, from, like, boot camp.
Oh, shit.
And I just came back from that right fucking in time, because it came out in March.
Yep. I have a great Mass Effect.
And I pre-ordered that one, and I got there that night, and I have that. Did I give you that little flag?
Yeah, it's up on
the wall. Yeah, I got a little
yep.
pre-order, like, flag that I gave to you. But it's the same deal, and even though, like, Mass Effect 3 wasn't as good, like, the series as a whole is so impactful.
Yeah.
That, like, I did that all the way through, and I would still fucking do it again. Mass Effect 4 comes out, like, we don't have pre-order midnight releases anymore, but you bet your little ass I'm gonna be buying it day
10 a.m.
one.
in the morning.
Right.
No,
Like,
Mass Effect, the cool thing with for me is it's like one of the series that like grew with me as an adult, right? It was a 10-year span of these games, and you did get attached to these characters, like waiting for the next game, trying different paths, figuring out what your Mass Effect was compared to my Mass Effect. You know what I mean? I remember some of the marketing for 3, it was like, they kept saying like, me, it's me, Mass Effect, my Mass Effect, or whatever. But it's corny, but it's fucking true. It's corny as shit. I remember they had the rapper of the game being like, M.E. Mass Effect, that's me, bro. Like, corny as shit, but like, it is your game, and your experience with Mass Effect might be different than my experience with Mass Effect, but I don't know anybody who doesn't like love their experience with Mass Effect.
And it's wild, like, I had no idea what I was in for Mass Effect 2. I had no fucking idea. I didn't look at anything. I didn't watch anything. I just knew.
Bro.
Dude, I just knew I played Mass Effect 1 and I loved it so much that I wanted the next game. And so I got this game and I got home and it came out in March. They always usually come out in March, and like my birthday's in March. So I was like, I got my fucking birthday game. I'm playing this motherfucker, and next thing you know, the first 10 minutes, the Normandy's blowing up, and Shepard's fucking dead. And I'm like, what boat ride am I on right now? Holy shit, what's happening? And, like, that is one of the most iconic, like, openings to a game to, like, lead into the next part. And I'm like, every time it happens, I'm like, fuck. Seeing the fucking air shoot out from the helmet as, like, Shepard's body floats around in space. And then, you know, the opening credits roll, and it has the cutscenes of all the robotic shit.
Yeah.
I thought that was, like, shot in real.
Yeah, it looks good.
I thought it was real footage.
Good. Yeah.
And it's still to this day, like, hands down, some of the best cinematic, like, cutscene graphics I've ever seen.
I'll second that.
It is, and it's not Uncanny Valley. I thought it was real fucking footage.
It looks good.
I was like, damn, this is weird to have, like, a video game and then, like, real shot footage, and then I realized it wasn't, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, that was a big wow game the first time I ever played it, and I got to wow the whole time.
Yeah. No, 2, for me, it's like the consequences of it. It's the first time I've ever felt like you fuck up, like you're gonna actually regret it. It's not gonna be like, I'll just turn the game off.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I was so attached to the characters from 1, and that feeling is never gonna be real. It's one, like we were talking about Baldur's Gate. That feeling for that game for me, there's nothing that could happen in my life that would replicate that.
Right.
If Sherry left me, I lost the house, I lost everything. I had like one game left. Honestly, I'd be like, well, I'm taking the 360 in Mass Effect.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like there's a lot of games that I would have put on top 5 lists as like better playing games.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like our top 5 is really like games that kind of identify us as a gamer, regardless of if they're good or not. Like, do I think Chrono Trigger is one of the best games made?
Oh, same. Yeah.
100% hands down, but I don't...
It was hard to be like, Chrono Trigger is not in my top 5.
Right, like I don't have like an identifying attachment to Chrono Trigger in the same way as I do with some of these other ones.
Yeah. Mass Effect for me is definitely like, it's a part of me. Mm-hmm. It sounds corny, but it surpasses video games. It's literally a part of my life.
Yeah, I think
I can say that confidently with my head high.
I think this is a really good list, and this is gonna be a long episode.
Yeah,
we'll have to end it here soon. But I think to really wrap it up, like this top 5 is a really good sample of the 5 games that really shaped who we are as players.
Definitely.
What kinds of games we play, what kinds of games we collect too. I think looking at your list and looking at mine, I was like, this is us as an identity.
Yeah,
like,
when you sent yours, I was like, I got 3 of these for sure. And the other 2 is like, if I would have thought a little harder, there's no doubt in my fucking mind. Yeah.
You know, there's some always where you're like, that could be a toss-up one, but especially like talking about them, it's like these are ones that like shape how I play games.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of mine are newer, you know, but
that's fine. That's why that's your list and not somebody else's, you know. Everybody, these affect people different ways. Like, I'm sure people are like, Mass Effect 1, what the fuck? Like, you played 2? But, like, you know, that's why it's my list. Nothing's ever going to have that impact on my life as 1. Rest in peace.
Now, if this was the best 5 games ever made, that would be a different list.
For sure. These are my favorite games.
And maybe we'll do one of those.
Might be fun.
Maybe.
Might see a couple on here.
Maybe we'll do a 10 list someday. Who's to say? But
yeah, this was a fun episode. And you got me to water up. Way to go.
I got you a what?
Got me to water up.
Oh, yeah.
I love Mass Effect. I do. I really do. That's truly one of the only things that I genuinely love more than, like, you know, I love it as much as I love some people. For sure. It's special.
Yeah. I'm glad we get to share Mass Effect.
I know, dude.
I don't have anybody else that I can share
Even
Mass
before
Effect
we were like
with.
best friends, and I just knew you casually or whatever. It was like Mass Effect. Like I would bug you. I'd be like Mass Effect, bro.
Yeah.
Talking about somebody about
Right.
It's more than just boning aliens, bro. Because Sherry'd be like, I don't care. Like they don't like these kind of games, and I'd be like, oh shit.
It's like when you want to like say something, like you're so passionate about something, and you talk to somebody about it, and you can kind of see them like nod and glaze over because they want you to like talk about something that you enjoy, but they are not really invested.
I remember when you got that art book. You're like, I know you'll appreciate this. Like, I could see you're excited. And I was like, envy. It's the first time I've been envious. But yeah, no, Mass Effect, it's the one that we both share. It's cool that was so high for both of us.
Yeah.
That was nice.
But that's it for our top 5. What are your top 5 games? Share in the comments. Next episode, is it worth it? Mobile Suit Gundam, Gundam versus Zeta Gundam. Gundam.
I'm excited for this one. I love Gundam, and it's a recent pickup.
It is probably, if I am correct, the most expensive North American Gundam release.
I think so. It's an expensive game.
And includes a fuck ton of Gundam suits. So, PlayStation 2 game, it is exclusive to the PlayStation 2 game. We're going to talk about Mobile Suit Gundam. Finally getting a Gundam game on here. I finally converted Brian over to the Gundam head.
Yeah, I'm all the way in, I'd say.
Bitch has got more Gundams than I do.
But no, this is an exciting one. Like I said, I love Gundam, and just recently picking it up. There's a lot of times I pick games up and I don't get around to playing them. So I'm glad this is like forcing me to play a recent pickup that I spent some money on.
Right, and by the time we record this, you will have finished Zeta, because I think you're watching through it right now.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Yep.
So that's what we're playing next.
Exciting.
Mobile Suit Gundam, Gundam vs. Zeta Gundam for the PlayStation 2.
Nice.
Thanks for listening. Check us out on YouTube. Talk to us in Discord. What are your top 5? Hit the glass ceiling, break it, whatever the outro is. Stay oppressed.
BB.
Gamers out.
Later.